You've been waiting. Are you ready?
Jesus.
The one thing I didn't check.
That's all right.
The one thing I didn't check. One day we're going to pull off an absolutely flawless execution, and people are going to be like, holy shit, did they like start paying somebody to stream for them, or
It's never gonna go off without a hitch. It's never gonna happen.
well, it's what you get when you jump into the trailer. Welcome, ladies and gents, to two guys. I almost said two dudes in a trailer. I think that's another movie. We won't go there though.
Yeah.
Two guys in a trailer, episode 6. It's hard to believe it's been 6 weeks already.
Oh no, and just the spike of increase in quality and consistency is overwhelming. First show of 2020.
This is the first show of 2020, isn't it?
Yeah. What are you giving away? Let's get it started. And if you guys notice, at the bottom of your screen is the handle for the Instagram, which the only thing is that T should be lowercase, but other than that, it works totally fine.
If you type it in with a T, it's going to be fine.
Okay, I don't know if it'll do it or not.
It'll take you right to it. It doesn't matter.
The Instagram where you can vote for the movies that we decide to talk about, all that good stuff. So go over there and give that a follow. I think that's how Instagram works.
Yes, it is. So,
but anyway,
Steven, what are we talking about this week?
We are talking about Zombieland Double Tap, which is a sequel about 10 years in the making to the critically acclaimed Zombieland.
Yep.
Which, when we were talking about possibly watching this movie, you said you were not a fan of the original Zombieland, correct?
Well, I like the movie, right? I like it so much that my son and I watched it, the original, together. We also watched part 2 together. And I, a couple of weeks ago, you had to do a little backpedaling, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think now the blue suede shoes are on the other feet. So now I got to do a little dancing myself. And going back, watching part 1, I think it was good. It was really good for what it was, right? Got a little hokey towards the end, like a lot predictable, but still very, very good. However, where I'm going to start dancing is, I told you that I probably wasn't going to be a huge fan of this one, and I was 100% wrong. Like 1,000% wrong.
So you were, well, we'll get into that, I guess, more towards the end, because I was going to ask, are you more of a fan of this one or the first one? But let's save that for the towards the ending, I guess. But
my
let's
mic
get
can't
into it.
Be overdriving because I'm not. I don't even have it close enough to. I mean, I could put it up here and we could see what that does.
Now it's really overdriving.
Yeah, it can't overdrive because I have a compressor on it and a noise gate. So, anyways,
let's get into it.
Let's talk about the movie.
All right, so this one I'm going to do a little differently with the background information. I've got the page pulled up for Zombieland, the original and the sequel, because they're both directed by the same person. Okay, so the director came back for the second. They're both produced by the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And the original was written by Rhett Reese and Paul Warwick. The sequel was also written by Rhett Reese and Paul Warwick, but they added in a third writer, which was Dave Callahan. Obviously, the movie stars Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin. Those are the four main characters. And the original had a budget of $23.6 million with a box office return of $102.4 million.
So
So,
massive box office success.
Box office.
Box office.
Yeah, about $100 million in box office return profit. Then, if you look at the sequel, the budget was between $42 to $48 million,
Mm-hmm.
and the box office return was $121.4 million. So still respectable. You're looking at about an $80 million return at the box office.
I mean, I'd loan that money, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making, over, what is that, 300% your money back.
Oh yeah.
So
easy.
They were both a box office success. Box office. But yeah, esophagus.
Oh,
But
real quick,
kind of-
before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to Steve Garlington. Apparently, that's Mr. Steven's father. It's very nice to meet you, sir.
even if it is online.
Yeah, on the internet.
But anyway, let's get into it.
Okay.
So the sequel kind of picks off right, I guess, 10 years after the events of the first one.
Yeah. And that's, you know what? I can really appreciate that. I can really appreciate the fact that they took into account real time.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't have to, with the simple little twist of since we last met, and it references back to the original movie, right?
Yeah.
So, there's been some time elapse, so you can account for things like the little girl turning into the young lady she is,
the somewhat bitchy teen that she's
Yeah.
become. Yeah. I really enjoyed that about it. Because I don't know, it kind of makes the characters more believable.
Absolutely.
It sets up. They take all this time creating this world, and then to have the characters actually be the same age as they should have been, it kind of just adds to the believability of it all, even though it is a completely unbelievable setting, I guess, for the movie. But not completely unbelievable, but
yeah.
I mean, at least exaggerated. But it starts out, and they're wanting to go to the White House, and that was probably one of the most badass moments, is that opening with Master of Puppets playing in the background, and they're slaying those zombies.
So I don't know if the writer or the director or the music producer that worked on this movie is a huge Metallica fan, but he literally picked two. Because the first movie opens up with For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yep.
And then the second one opens up with Master of Puppets. Quite possibly Metallica's best song ever written.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. Oh, yeah,
it pumps you up, man.
When Master of Puppets starts playing and like the dude's running through the field and all of a sudden his face and head is not there anymore because he got shot with something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was awesome. It was awesome to see how they opened it up.
So then they get to the White House, and
hang on real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong. When they got to the White House, that was technically the ending of the first movie, right? So you had the first movie ended with them leaving California, right, from whatever it is, West Coast Playland or whatever, and then they're going to they drive across country to the White House. So that's kind of where that, because they said a lot of time elapsed, and the White House doesn't obviously look like that now, so they had to have gone out and got the Bob's Big Boy that's hanging out in the hallway and the basketball machine. So they had to have been there this whole time, right?
At the White House?
Yeah, or at least that was my understanding.
I took it as that they had spent 10 years kind of going place to place, and then they kind of all decided they finally wanted to find somewhere to settle. And that was where they decided to settle it.
Well,
but they decided to settle after 10 years of kind of, roaming around.
Yeah, but he specifically stated that they had kind of created a home throughout the years of being at the White House.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it. The second time I watched it too, I assumed that was kind of them fighting their way into the White House for the first time, and then they made it home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there was, I don't know. Anyways, let's not get sidetracked on semantics.
Okay, but yeah, either way, they make it into the White House, and kind of reminiscent of the first one, the two girls get spooked and decide to take off because Woody Harrelson plays the overprotective father archetype to the younger girl, and then Emma Stone and the dude, I can't remember his fucking name.
Jesse.
That guy.
Yeah.
The guy from Social Network. They're like a thing, and he proposes to her, which is
stupid,
insane. But
with the Hope Diamond.
Yeah.
Most gangster thing you could have done.
Yeah. But I mean, still. And I love that part where she's like, all that married people do is get divorced. And he's like, well, I don't see that happening for us. Where would we get the fucking lawyer?
Dude. But, his little backhanded comments and the sarcastic humor in this movie was so much better than the original.
Yeah, agreed.
That's so much better.
Like, I think Zombieland, the original, is probably a better movie, but this one is so much funnier to me. That's the way that I kind of see it, mostly because of all of the backhand sarcastic remarks, and also the character of Madison is probably one of the funniest.
Okay, that's what I was waiting on you to get into this, because I literally told my son yesterday. Not only did I watch this movie once, I watched this movie once in the Zoom room with D-Bone, and Peggins jumped in at the end of it, but I watched it again. That's how much I liked it. And I laughed just as much at the second time as I did the first time. But I told him, I said, she makes this fucking movie. And it's not because she's a pretty face. It's because she's just dumb enough to pull this shit off.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
When I lived in a freezer.
When Woody Harrelson says, the only reason she survived is because zombies eat brains and she doesn't fucking have any. It's like, that is the perfect encapsulation of that character.
Yep, absolutely.
Literally survived by, like, accident.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's so dumb that when you make the statement, well, I mean, guys, they're really more scared of us than we are of them. You don't know how fucking wrong you are.
Or when they get to the compound and they start saying, well, this is what we should do. And she says, well, I think we should run. You don't get a vote. Yes, I do. Haven't you heard of women suffering? Like, there's so many lines that she has that are just golden.
My favorite one, the whole movie. They're getting to the first intimate scene, and he goes, she looks at him and says, look, dude, I've been living in a mall freezer for years. Either we're doing this now, or I'm taking one for the team and I'm doing the old guy. And he has that moment of clarity where he's like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do it. Let's go.
Yeah, it's almost doing the lesser of two evils, really.
Yeah.
At that point. But yeah, I like the chemistry between them, and also between her and Emma Stone's character, like how much they hate each other at first. It's so great because obviously Emma Stone's character comes back, and it's been like a couple of months, I think, in the movie. She comes back because the other sisters left with some hippie guitar playing POS.
Yeah.
They travel across country. She ditches the sister, and so Emma Stone comes back to get guns and ammunition, and obviously she wants them to help her find her sister. So that's kind of where the movie starts taking off from there, is they all get back together and try to go find her.
Now, you and I were having a little conversation before the show, and I told you, just wait, you'll find out.
Yeah.
Right? So, one of my major criticisms of this movie is I feel like there was a portion of the movie that, had it been removed, the movie would not have suffered any negative consequences. And that is the introduction of Luke Wilson's character. If they had went all the way up to Luke Wilson's character coming in and them leaving the Hound Dog Hotel, I don't think we would have lost anything in that movie. There were some zingers, there were some little one-liners, but had they not been in there, like, I think for that scene, they tried a little bit too hard.
I could see that.
And that honestly is my only gripe with this movie.
Yeah,
that's my only gripe. Because if you think about it, right, there was dialogue all the way up to the point where at the hotel where they had a reason to be there, right? There was another person introduced, which was Rosario Dawson, who, by the way, I don't know how old that chick is, but dude, she is still got it. I would not kick her out of bed for eating Cheetos ever.
No.
So, you had the introduction of the new character, so you could have pulled off the ending, right?
Yeah.
Now, where the gigantic monster truck came from, who gives a shit, right?
It really served no purpose up until the ending.
Yeah, I mean, his entire dream in this fucking movie was to drive the presidential limousine, the Beast, with a turret gun mounted on top. Like, not that I'm opposed to that. I think that's fucking awesome. That's what I would do. But, it's not far-fetched to think somebody stole a fucking monster truck.
Yeah. Or that Rosario Dawson's character had it in the first place. That would be believable.
Exactly, because of the Hound Dog Hotel.
Yeah.
So, that being said...
but at the same time, does that scene contribute to the overall movie? Like, does it drive the plot forward? No. But it's a funny little 15, 20-minute scene. That's kind of the way I look at it. Like, I don't think it detracts anything from the movie. I don't think it makes the movie grind to a halt.
Okay, you're right. It doesn't add anything to the movie, but it also doesn't take very much away.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a wash.
I think but for me personally, I could have done without it. Like, if that's the scene I miss when I get up to go take a piss, I'm okay with it.
I get that. And I can see that. I mean, yeah, I don't think it adds anything. I don't think it necessarily takes anything away. But I could see that criticism.
Yeah. I was not a fan of the whole...
Although I did think it was funny when they're comparing the rules to the commandments. I thought that was funny. I just thought that was kind of a funny scene. But
I don't know. Two pacifist pussies sitting there talking to one another about whose rules are, I guess it wasn't even a dick measuring contest. It was maybe like I don't know, but either way it goes, I thought that was the only uninteresting part of the movie.
Okay. Well, if that's your only complaint with the movie, I think that's...
Yeah, it's a total win.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing where the movie's going then, that we both really enjoyed it, because clearly that's even the criticism you have of the movie, we've both said it really doesn't take away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happens next? After they meet up with the Luke Wilson's character and all them, they get turned to zombies, obviously. They kill them off within like 15 minutes of screen time. And they head back out. They leave the Hound Dog Hotel and continue to try to find the other sister, which is supposedly at a like almost like a commune, I
Yeah,
guess,
hippie commune.
called Babylon, which is supposedly protected from all the zombies. Which,
Oh, it's Babylon.
yeah, yeah,
I love that song.
But yeah, so once they finally, to me, once they finally make it to Babylon, that's kind of where I thought the movie lost track a little bit. Like, because it takes probably a good 10, 15 minutes before the ending actually kicks in. And it's just a bunch of hokey, everyone sitting around fucking singing songs around a campfire and shit.
Yeah.
So to me, like, I could have dealt with that being probably cut in half, streamline that a little bit, and then get to the ending because you kind of know where the ending is going to go. I mean, halfway through the movie, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or at least that's kind of the way I felt about it. Because it's almost kind of it's almost a step-by-step retrace of the first one.
Well, he did kind of give away the ending at the beginning in a dialogue that Woody Harrelson and the other guy were having.
With the buffalo thing?
Yeah, that was hilarious in itself. He's like, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I have Native American blood coursing through my veins. And he's like right now? Like, or has it always been there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when he starts talking, he just gets on his little Segway and fucking rides off.
Woody Harrelson is probably one of my favorite parts of these movies.
Yeah, I would have to say. I don't know, man. That other dude, what is his fucking name? Jesse what?
Eisenberg.
Heisenberg?
Eisenberg.
Okay, well, that dude, he is, like, I've heard in real life he's just as much a dick. But, dude, he is the most sarcastic asshole. Like, if I met him, me and him's going to have problems.
Oh, yeah.
Me and him are going to have problems.
There's a video of him doing an interview, and he, like, makes the interviewer look like a total dumb bitch. Like, and he does it, like, intentionally. I don't know if it's a bit or not, but, like, he tells her that he's like, do you know Carrot Top? And she's like, yeah, he's a terrible magician. And he's like, well, you are the Carrot Top of interviewers. Jesus Christ, man. So I don't know if it was a bit or not, but yeah, he seems like kind of a douchebag. But he's got that very dry wit, sarcastic sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then you've got, that's kind of what I really like about the movie is all four characters play off of each other really well. And they're kind of four diametrically opposed personality types.
Yeah. Now, here's something that I kind of immediately saw through is they get back in the god awful minivan, right? And they're riding down the road and they're eating trail mix. And you see her face go pale, right? Like they had cut and then they went and put some makeup on and then started the scene over and then cut to make it even worse. So I was like, dude, she's having an allergic reaction. And then he walks her in the woods and 2 shots, double tap. He comes back, gets in the car, and I was waiting for when Emma Stone throws her purse out of the car, I'm waiting on a fucking EpiPen to roll out. And be like, oh, shit, it was a nut allergy, and he just shot this bitch in the woods. Damn. Like one of those. Totally not foreshadowing the little clown ice cream mobile on wheels. I mean, I lived in a freezer, so why not a freezer on wheels?
Now, that was one scene that the first time I watched it, it didn't bother me, but the second time I watched it, it kind of did, where they stopped to get the RV.
Yeah.
And it introduces the T-800, right? Which I get it. Like, that has to happen. You have to introduce that there's a new zombie. Okay, cool. But that entire stop, nothing gets accomplished.
Well,
they stop, they kill the zombies, they steal the RV, they drive it 10 feet, get a flat tire, get out, get back in the minivan, and keep driving.
I think that's more of that's hearkening back to the original with Woody Harrelson's disgust with his life because he cannot find a Twinkie.
Yeah.
And now he's disgusted because they're driving a Pontiac minivan that he despises. And he gets in this big luxury motor coach, and that's what they're going to take. And it looks like all is well. And 10 seconds later, like his luck hits him as soon as that. They don't even get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's kind of the Graceland being torn to shreds and them not getting the bus is kind of his Twinkie in this.
Yeah.
That's kind of why he threw the fucking grenade in it at the end.
Yeah. And then, well, you can just wait in the van.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can just wait in the car.
But yeah, then we're kind of jumping all over the place, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, if you haven't seen it, obviously we spoiled it, so that's kind of sorry. But
by the way, spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. We usually put that in the title, but we didn't. So fuck y'all.
We should have.
But the ending where they're at the commune or whatever, Woody Harrelson decides he's going to take off and go solo, which is something he had mentioned at the beginning of the movie, that he was ready to go solo.
Well, multiple times in the movie and multiple times in the previous movie.
Yeah. So he leaves. He gets, a couple 100 yards away, and bam, there's a whole horde of zombies heading straight for Babylon, where the other people are staying. Turns back around, goes back and tells them, and then he kind of rallies them up to fight off the zombies or whatever. And you don't really see exactly how they're going to do it because all of the guns have been taken and melted down to make peace symbols because, again, these are hippies.
Yeah. No way in reality is that happening.
Right. So it kind of just shows them like getting stuff to like make makeshift shields out of and stuff. Like, and that's kind of it. And then he says something about we have biodiesel. So you kind of figure out that they're going to blow something up and try to burn them all. So that's kind of the game plan. We're going to set off this big tank of gas, burn them up, and then the stragglers that come in after that we'll take out one by one with like melee weapons and shields out of pieces of gate and shit like that. Basically, is what it comes down to.
Well, they did a really good job, and I think I see where you're going here. Is the ending was kind of anticlimactic,
slightly.
But they had to, if you think about it, they set the ending up to be that way before the ending of the thing, because they mentioned in there when Emma Stone came back to get guns and ammo, right, and to seek help from the guys to go find her sister, she said that it's this new breed, and once they lock on their target, they will stop at nothing to get it.
Yeah.
Right? So that little piece makes it more believable, because if you are shooting a heat-seeking missile at something, you want it to stay focused on what it is and not be detracted by a campfire, right? You want it going to its target.
Right.
Right. So them having that one little line in there allowed for the ending to go down the way it did and not be as climactic as you would have. But I would argue to say Zombieland 1, the ending was anticlimactic.
Yeah, it kind of builds up. That's kind of what they do. They build up to have where you're going to think it's this big ending, and then it kind of just fizzles out. But I think it's by design. But it's something, that I noticed. But overall, I think it was a really good movie. And we both said that it's probably one of the best sequels that's ever been done. I said that, which you said it was probably the best sequel ever done. I think one of the best sequels ever done was in the original Spider-Man trilogy, Spider-Man 2. I think it's probably one of the best sequels ever pulled off. But I would put this right up there with it.
Yeah.
I think it's not better than the original Zombieland, but it is funnier.
And see, I would take the opposite stance. I think it is better because it's funnier.
Yeah, I can see that. I just I don't know.
It's
It's
hard to beat the
funnier.
original, man. It's always that's the problem with sequels that I have is like it is so hard if you have a winner, right? Like Half Baked. Half Baked is one of the funniest fucking stoner movies on the planet.
Yeah,
But if they tried to make a Half Baked too, they got really big shoes to fill. And by the way, they did make it, and it sucked horribly.
yeah,
Right? A lot of people would venture to say none of the Star Wars movies measured up to the original. You know, I don't necessarily agree with it. Then again, I'm not a huge fucking Star Wars fan to begin with. But, uh, it's kind of a if you take a shot at number one, you better damn well knock them out of their seat.
yeah.
And I think this one did it.
I mean, there are definitely sequels that I don't know. Like there are retreads that are pretty good. Like Rocky 2 is pretty good.
Yeah, but
It's
is
not as
it
good as
better?
Rocky. It's
Yeah,
not as good as Rocky, but it's basically a
yeah,
retread, right? I mean, he
dude.
fights the same fucking guy.
Rambo 2. Rambo
Rambo
2,
2,
same
same thing.
fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, all of the Rambos are the same movie.
Yeah, but you have retreads like that, but then you have sequels that kind of they're in the same vein of the first one, but they take a different approach. I think Zombieland 2 is in the same vein of Zombieland, but it takes a more comedic approach, even more so than the first one.
I would be interested to see because you said written, produced, directed, all by the same people.
Yeah, it had one extra writer, but that's it.
I would love to see the full cast credits for 1 and 2 side by side. And I'm talking about all the way down to makeup artists, stuff like that, and see how much of the original cast they brought back to keep continuity. Because
Yeah,
it even looked like set design looked the same from one to the next.
yeah.
So
The world felt the same, and
yeah,
that's kind of the thing that is hard to do in a movie like this. Is they spent so much time in the first one creating the world and making the rules for the world, and like, so like if you go on the second one and change shit up, it doesn't work.
yeah.
You've already got this established world, and they follow that established world, and they just kind of expand on it a little bit. So as far as the sequel goes, I think it was about as good as it could have been. To
Oh,
be honest,
absolutely.
I don't see any way you could have done it better. I think they should probably stop after this one. I think if they did a third one, it probably isn't going to be as good, unless they took another fucking 10 years to make it, and by that time, who cares?
Yeah.
I think
Well, what if they took another 5 years?
I think I don't know. You risk just kind of turning in a shitty movie. Like they had multiple rewrites for this one. It wasn't 10 years just because fuck it, 10 years. It was like they had 7 or 8 scripts that they tried.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think they should probably stop after this one. Or if they're going to do another one, it needs to follow different characters. They could always do that. Like the post ending scene, which you missed, is with
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, and
So
he's doing
so you're talking like Zombieland Origins or something.
yeah. Like imagine a fucking Bill Murray Zombieland movie.
But didn't you just say last week that like some people you don't really need an origin story?
Yeah, we're not giving an origin story for a person. We're giving an origin story for an event.
Mm. It's kind of the same thing to me.
Well, Joker is still a 3.5, and Zombieland 2 for me is a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
I'd say Zombieland 2 is a better movie than Joker. You heard it here first, folks.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
I guess we're going into to objective.
Yep.
All right. So for me, looking at this objectively, I'm gonna just because of the bloat of the Owen Wilson scene and my personal Not really caring about that section of the movie. Subjectively, I'm gonna give it a 4, but objectively, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Damn.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's a question: since we're not going to do Zombieland the original, what would you rank Zombieland?
Uh, the OG. Going back and watching it after I'd watched part 2 twice, and then my son wanted to watch the original, so we watched the original. I don't know. I'm gonna say subjectively, I'd give it a 4, and I think objectively, I'd probably give it a 4 as well.
Okay, so for you, Zombieland 2 is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just because dude, I'm telling you, I never in a million years, if you had told me before this that a character introduced into this movie who was not any of the main 4 would be my favorite, and it wouldn't be Rosario Dawson, I would have called you a liar. I'd have said there's no way. If you had told me they're going to introduce the most unbelievable character on the fucking planet and she's going to turn out to be your favorite, I'd have called you a liar. But hands down, Madison made that movie that much better.
Oh, yeah. She's the reason it's a 4.
Dude, boom! I'm sorry, it's fake fur.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian. Well, vegan. Like, she's great.
Oh my God, you thought I was a zombie? I'm a vegetarian. Well, technically vegan.
Yeah, she's great. She makes the movie. I think without her, it would have lost a lot of steam.
An absolute lot, dude.
Because, like, for me, the first 20 minutes of the movie is kind of what drags the most. But once she comes in, it's like, okay. Because there's constant tension between her and Emma Stone. And between Emma Stone. It kind of just sets off this chain reaction of where everyone's fucking on edge, cracking wise-ass jokes and being sarcastic pieces of shit.
And she's so dumb that she doesn't understand the jokes.
Oh, yeah. The one time she's sarcastic, she doesn't even know she's being sarcastic.
Yeah. Is that sarcasm? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. Was it? Yeah.
And he looks at her like, yeah. Oh. You fucking dummy.
That is our take on Zombieland Double Tap. I would say we both highly recommend it.
Yep. It is available on Google Play. And literally everywhere I found it, other than the place I streamed it from, was $14, $15, $12, something like that.
Yeah, you're looking between 15 to 20 to buy it. If you're going to buy it in 4K.
At that price, is it worth it?
I would say I'm going to give it depends. Okay, if you're a fan of the original, you're probably going to want to watch this one more than once. So at that point, I say buy it. If you liked the original and you're kind of curious to see what this one is, I'd say rent it. And if you haven't seen the original, I would say at least rent this one. So I'm going to say like probably more of a rental, but for me, I think it's a buy. It kind of just depends on like if you like the original or not. If you're not really into the original, at least rent this one, because I think Madison as a character is enough to give you enough laughs to where you'll feel like the rental was justified.
Absolutely.
That's kind of where I would put it.
I would put it almost in the same category. I would say if you look, let's say you got plans this coming up weekend, but nothing next weekend, you might be able to get it for $10. You know, it might drop in price down to $9.99. At that point, I think it's a buy. I think it's $10. I think it's a buy all day. But, you know, like Roy said, it's a Redbox movie. Yeah, I mean, a Redbox $3.99, that's all day. Done.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm saying it's not a definitive buy is because it is around that $20 mark.
Yeah.
If you can get it on sale or something, or like if it drops down and they do like a $9.99 special or something on Google Play, fucking buy it.
Yeah. Or if you just got a fucking Amazon card burning a hole in your pocket left over from Christmas with, $50 on it. Yeah, it's worth it.
I mean, I don't think any way you watch it, you're going to be disappointed with watching it. It just may be that $20. You're like, oh, well, fuck, I'm not going to watch it again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, rental. It's not a must buy, but it's not a must own, but it's pretty damn close. And if it was, I'd probably say 15 or lower, it's a must buy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm putting the cap at $10.
Okay. Yeah, $10 is fair.
If it's more than 10 bones, rent it. If it's 10 or under, go for it. You won't be disappointed.
Or if you wait a little while, I'm sure they'll release like a combo pack with Zombieland and Zombieland 2 for probably both
$20,
like $25, and I'd say it's definitely worth it. Then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just to have those two side by side for $20 all day.
Yeah,
that was loud.
That was. So that's Zombieland. You want to tell them what we're watching next week?
I don't know. What are we watching next week?
Oh, I thought we decided. Did we not decide?
The Irishman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we put it up. On Instagram that we were going to watch The Irishman or Zombieland 2. I actually went and watched both of them. So,
as did I.
And I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch The Irishman again because spoiler alert, I think it's that good.
And it's a 3.5 hour long movie,
yep.
But it is available on Netflix. So
it's.
Does that sound like something y'all would be interested in? Chat, asking you guys, would y'all be interested in us watching Irishman? Or if not, we'll figure out some other movies and put it on Instagram to a vote.
Leo says The Irishman it is.
Well, that is almost 50% of our entire viewing audience. So
I don't think so.
No, I'm just fucking around.
I was going to say, unless my numbers are way wrong, that's not.
But yeah, I'm thinking Irishman's a good one because it's on Netflix. Everybody has a Netflix account. Everybody will be able to stream it.
Yeah, and if you don't have a Netflix account, you can email Steven at stevengarlington@gmail.com. He'll give you his password email.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever has that email address will more than likely. That's not mine. We've got 2 for Irishman. Need to review season 1 of The Mandalorian. Robert, it's going to take everything to get heavy to review a Star Wars movie in May. I doubt he's going to review a season of Star Wars.
Look, dude, I'll put it to you like this. I like doing this so much that if you want to watch that at some point, we'll watch it.
Ooh. I'm more interested in getting you on all of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, you suck so
all 6 episodes. Everything Disney did is shit.
So I gotta watch them in order, obviously.
Oh yeah. So in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I have to watch them in that order?
Yeah.
No, dude. I'm gonna watch them in order of release.
No. We gotta watch them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have you ever watched them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 order? That's what we gotta do then. That's gonna be a hell of a stream too. All right, it looks like everybody's cool with The Irishman.
What is Slammin' Salmon?
I have no idea, but that kind of sounds like a porn.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to Google that.
But yeah, so if y'all haven't watched The Irishman, it's like I said, it's 3.5 hours long. So you need to set aside some time. Yeah. But it's good.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna like be upset that you wasted 3.5 hours. It's a good fucking movie.
Yep.
Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. It's a damn good movie. Dracula. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yep. That's what we're gonna do. So I think that's it. Thanks for joining us, hanging out, all that kind of good stuff. We will see y'all next week with The Irishman. Oddly enough, I'm Irish, so I'm down.
Sweet. I'm not Irish, but I'm still down.
You're clearly of Germanic descent. We're out, guys. Peace.
Later, guys.